What is good, y'all? Facts here with another video. New Undisputed 2023 with Michael Irvin, Richard Sherman, and Keyshawn Johnson, day 2. Hey, man, so they did a segment with Justin Jefferson, and I found it the most interesting one, I guess. At least a reaction. I might watch them more off camera. But we reacted to the first day yesterday, the new theme song, all that. I have to say, bro, a lot of people are hating. I had mixed emotions about it in the video, but I liked it. But now we have to see what they do today. Let's go ahead. Justin Jefferson.
About where he belongs. But CD is 5 slots back. No! CD has to depend on Dak to throw him the football. So let's start with the Hall of Fame receiver, Michael Irvin. Should Justin Jefferson be ranked second overall?
Let me say this, man. Let me tell you something. And I remember hearing about Justin Jefferson.
I see what he said. Interesting.
Coming out of high school. Jerry Sullivan, who coached me coming out of high school, is a very good friend of mine. He worked with Justin Jefferson. He called me and said, hey, man, listen, there's this kid coming. He was working out with Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. He works him out. He said, there's this kid. He says, ever since I've worked out with you, he's the only kid that I've ever seen as competitive as you.
Really?
And he said, his name is Justin Jefferson. Wait till you hear it. Wait till you see this kid.
Damn.
And he was spot on. He was telling me
Justin Jefferson reminds me of Odell, but I think he's going to break it,
Chase has all these physical gifts, but just hanging out with Justin Jefferson made him understand how to work.
Yeah.
I love this dude.
Justin Jefferson,
last year I loved him so much.
Had a good mental.
I stepped way out on that ledge and called for Kirk Cousins to be the MVP because I knew once we started mixing system with talent, we were going to have an explosion. We talked about this earlier.
I actually like Kirk. I hope Kirk comes different this year, but
system that we have in the league now. All these touchdowns I used to watch Jerry Rice get on those reverse motions and just shot to the end zone. I'm thinking, you didn't beat a cornerback. That was a system that got that touchdown. You know what I'm saying? And now you got Justin Jefferson in a system that produces like that. Hey, he was going to explode. He'll continue to explode. But putting him second, I don't mind you put him above quarterbacks. I have an issue with him being above the quarterback that made a meteoric rise in Jalen Hurts right now. Because that Jalen Hurts quarterback ended up in a Super Bowl. And Justin Jefferson...
Last year, you can make the argument
my dude,
that Jalen Hurts was like the second best player in football.
Deep in the playoffs.
Just off last year, I know that's not how I would rank it, personally.
But above Jalen Hurts, yeah, I got an issue with that.
Yeah, when you talk about the number 2 player in the National Football League and there's not a quarterback sitting there, you take issue with it, right? You just do. Jalen Hurts,
when
Joe
the quarterback
Burrow,
has success like Jalen Hurts.
Josh Allen.
I ain't putting Josh Allen above.
Y'all just name a quarterback.
You got Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes.
So let me ask you this question. So let me ask you a question then.
I like
Would you trade Justin Jefferson for Josh Allen? I'm just asking you a question.
Oh, no, if I need a quarterback.
It's a yes or a no.
But if I need a quarterback.
It's a yes or a no.
Yeah. Wait a minute. If I need a quarterback, yeah. But if I got a good quarterback, I'm not.
How about if you're Minnesota?
Let me clean it up for you and make it easy.
Am I going to take Kirk Cousins? Am I going to take Josh Allen or Kirk Cousins? Yes, I will.
Okay, I was going to make it easy for you. I was going to make it easy for you. If I'm just giving you a hypothetical, just clean it up for you. If I came to you and I said, you can have Josh Allen, give us Justin Jefferson, but you'd have to cut Kirk Cousins. Would you do that deal?
It just became a worse team.
No, come on. No, I'm just asking you. That's all. So when you look Justin Jefferson, he's one of the top 6 to 7 receivers in the National Football League by far. Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, and then if you want to go A.J. Brown and even a big dude, a DK Metcalf, if you want to do that, all of those guys to me are interchangeable, right? To me they are. I like a certain thing. Yes, the league is made up of schemes now. A lot of schemes, getting open picks, different things of that nature. I think he's a hell of a talent. He catches the football, he puts a football in his hands, he does some amazing things. But to sit at number 2, come on, man.
Would you guys agree with me that the position you played is ultimately a dependent position?
I would agree with you. I used to always say to people, I need 11 people See, the math.
do.
Here's why I need 11.
Facts.
Because you remove me.
Facts.
I need the offensive coordinator to call the play.
Okay.
And I need the other 10 dudes to do their job for me to get the
How
football.
many routes in your life did you run and think, open? I'm open. Where's the football?
I wrote a book.
Right.
So you already know how I feel.
What I would say, I
Keyshawn
agree
played
totally with you.
receiver.
A position that's dependent on other factors. You're dependent on the O-line, the quarterback, all these things, the coordinator. Like you can't be top 10 in this National Football League. You are you are dependent on everything else. And I think a pass rusher, Nicholas John Bosa. You talk about Micah Parsons, somebody like that.
I have no problem with that.
You know what they're dependent on? Their effort, their technique, their approach. That's
I'm
the
okay with
thing
that.
that makes them dominant players. So if you talk about, would I
Yes,
say
sir.
Justin Jefferson or Nicholas John Bosa or Micah Parsons or a passer, T.J. Watt, you're taking those guys because you know they're going to affect the play every play regardless. They don't have to have the ball. They don't have to have a play call.
That's a strong case. That's a strong case.
No, it is not. Let me give you an understanding of what is done from a guy at that position. I'm not saying quarterback is not tough to play, but you got to discern and decipher things. That's why the shoulders up talent is so important. But playing wide receiver, I got to be out wide. I got to run down this field 20, 25 yards. I got to catch a football that somebody is throwing at me, coming at some ignorant rate of speed between heaven and earth. I got to snatch it out the air, find my way to the ground when everybody trying to take my head off, turn around and go run a touchdown. You won't tell me the dude running back that's trying to tackle the quarterback is more gifted than that. Get out of here. I'm not buying. I'm not.
It's not more gifted. It's not more gifted. I don't think it's more gifted. I think if you're a nasty receiver, that's like the most gifted shit, in my opinion. I mean, it's like very close though. It really is very close. I just prefer receiver because I just think it's cool. You know, like I played receiver my whole life. My favorite players are receivers. Like,
valuable. I'm not
when they
even
catch the
saying
ball,
that.
it's better when they
I
run the
need
ball, bro.
chunk plays in this game.
You don't play
can't
enough
get chunk
plays, Mike. You don't play enough plays to be that valuable. Y'all take too many subs, too many water breaks. Y'all don't play enough plays.
If I played 3 plays, and I saw Randy Moss play 3 plays, all 3 were touchdowns. He called hitches and was them touchdowns. You gonna tell me? And I heard you yesterday say defense win championship, and I had already gotten on you one time, so I let you make it on that one because I said I don't want to get on you too many times on the first day. But the truth is, defense don't win championships. Points win championships. You can stop.
Bro. Defense wins championships. Y'all are crazy. I mean, last Super Bowl points won championship, but like it was a pick. The defense scored a touchdown for Chiefs, and like throughout history, it's been defense.
100 plays and one
This is crazy. Nah, this is entertaining, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
And you lose. You made 99.
German, you gotta start shouting, bro.
I saw a Super Bowl
Defense
won
don't win
10-3.
Super Bowl.
I saw 10-3 Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I saw 10-3 Super Bowl.
I did see that.
And that's a defensive
I
game.
did
There's
see
not
that.
40 points being scored in these Super Bowls.
Right.
Lost your mind.
Skip, I
But
believe.
because you stop somebody from scoring, that's good. That you did good. But you still have, if you scored, the name of the game is who has the most points win, not who stops people the most. So even if you stop,
Skip,
Nah, yeah, that was dumb.
when I look at it, those
I don't know. Mike Irvin's a
Justin
little.
Jefferson belongs on the list. I just don't know that he belongs there too.
Okay.
He makes a great point about pass rushers, and I can go all the way back into history and think about a Lawrence Taylor or whatever you want to call it. Michael Irvin also makes a great point. As a receiver, we depend on a lot of guys. There's a lot going on.
But what we have to do is insane.
But what we had to do, not necessarily what they're doing today. Today's game is totally different than it was when we played.
Let him say what he's saying.
I agree.
Because we had to pay attention to everything back there. Nowadays, you can just run free access. You got free access at everything. When we got free access, as you would say, Michael, we look up and go, we got free access. We get ready to eat this dude up. But how many times has that happened in our careers? No, not like now. That's why I look at it and I say to myself, I make that face. I go, I don't know. And another thing that how I value and I look at receivers, are you catching any balls on the numbers or everything you doing in the slot? When you're in the slot, I got the whole field to work with. I'm running shallow crosses, deep crosses. When I line up on them outside numbers, I'm out there with a man, a full-grown man with a full beard with baby car seats looking to do something to you. It's totally different.
Let me ask you one question then.
Totally different.
Would you rather have a guy with 20 sacks or a receiver with 20
sacks.
touchdowns?
Not even question.
Are you joking?
Not even question.
You would take a...
Not even question.
Wait, Michael.
Game changer.
I can't even talk about that.
The pass rush is the antidote to the quarterback. It's the one thing that can stymie the quarterback from doing what he does.
Somebody, Mike,
Wait.
hold on.
So a
They're
sack
bailing
is
at the
not
top.
tantamount to a touchdown. That's what you just told me.
Hold on.
A sack is not tantamount to a touchdown.
You going to? Can you fluff touchdowns? We just talked about it. Can you fluff touchdowns?
Yes.
You cannot fluff them sacks, boy. You cannot fluff them sacks.
But if I'm drafting, if I'm drafting and I got my board on the room, and I got,
This is amazing.
if I'm
Remember mad
drafting
funny on
as being the #1 overall pick as a receiver, and this is me talking now, proud to be the #1 overall pick as a receiver.
Go ahead on.
But if I'm drafting and I got a receiver on the board and I got a pass rusher, left tackle, shutdown corner.
You're talking supply and
No,
demand.
I'm not. I'm not talking about supply and demand. I'm talking about the value. A pass rusher has more, TJ Watt, Bosa's, at the height of a Khalil Mack, they got more value than we do. That's all I'm saying.
And when I say supply and demand, only because you feel that there's harder to find a pass rusher than it is the receiver.
Absolutely.
I'm saying,
Absolutely.
but I'm saying the great
A good
receiver brings you. I'd rather take the 20 touchdowns over the 20 sacks.
You know what's-
How many times have we seen a receiver score 20 touchdowns? We've seen many teams have guys with 20 sacks and they went nowhere. Now let's pick up and find out how many times the team won. Guys won 20 touchdowns. I guarantee you that team did something.
So you look in the Super Bowl.
Let's look at
You're
it.
going to find the
Let's
team
get
with the
them
highest sacks. 70 sacks last year, Philadelphia Eagles.
We ain't talking about the team. We're talking about the individual. You're moving the argument. We're not talking about the team. We're talking about the
Why you
individual.
take off your glasses, man?
I don't know.
So here's the irony of this. Would you believe? Do you remember who drafted you, who was still running that draft room when you went in the draft?
Oh, Gil Brandt.
Gil Brandt, thank you. What was he infamous for? His statement that you can find a receiver on any street corner.
That's what it is.
Any
that's
street
supply and
corner.
demand.
That's what
I'm talking
You
about.
can't find Michael
Well, I
Irvin
know
on
you
this team.
can't find you.
No, you can't
But I
find
will say this.
Justin.
Hey, you will be the last ever taken #1 overall, the last receiver. I'm pretty sure it'll never happen again.
Maybe Marvin Harrison Jr. got a
But you know what?
chance.
I'll say something to piss you off right now.
What's that? What you got?
Corner is a harder position.
See, now I got to go, Mike.
Y'all
I got to
go.
get it. And this ain't real.
It's so true. I'm rocking with Sherman. The corner is so fucking hard, bro. They have to cover y'all. What, like that's what y'all gotta understand. Like, y'all talking about what you are. They have to cover y'all, bro. You know how hard it is to cover Tyreek fucking Hill, bro? Like, bro, corner.
I'm not doing that with you.
I wish I was on this.
Wait for y'all to go. I swear it's not rehearsed.
No, hold
We
on.
didn't
This
even
ain't
know this.
rehearsed.
But I promise
This
you,
ain't
I'm about to
rehearsed.
leave this shit.
Hold on.
Stop, dog.
Hold on.
Bro.
Skip, let me just talk to you real quick. I want to get you in on this.
I can't believe you trying to get
Now,
me.
hold on, Mike.
Go ahead.
Mike,
Let y'all talk.
you said it's a harder position.
Harder position.
Corner.
Harder position. What did you start off at?
Receiver.
Okay.
Wait.
What does that say? You play receiver, you couldn't play it at the level that got you to where you are. So you went to corner.
Doesn't matter.
It's much easier to do.
Well, you ain't got to catch that ball. Well, you ain't got to catch that ball between.
He does have to catch the ball, you idiot. No.
All you gotta do is run with somebody.
You got a safety over there to help you.
Yeah. All you gotta do is run with somebody.
The reason
Eyes look back at the quarterback and float. Keep your hips to the sideline. Stop it, Richard.
The reason I moved positions is because I didn't want to be dependent on somebody else.
Oh, yeah,
I
nice
didn't want to be.
try.
One second.
Nice try.
I didn't want to be
Man.
dependent on somebody else. I wanted to control my own destiny. And you know what? You know what I wanted to do?
You know what?
I wanted to make sure that I impacted every play. I didn't want no water breaks. I didn't want to take off. Hey, it's a 10-play series. Guess you play corner, I'm on the field for 10 plays. It's a 60-play game. I'm on the field for 60 plays.
I got to give you love here. I know you just started this business, but you knew to make that vital point right in the camera, right to your people.
But
I don't know who I'm with you on that, but I got to give you a love on that. But it ain't worth it. The cornerbacks are not the one. Don't even try, but I got to give you love on that.
Guys move positions from the receiver position to the
Mm-hmm.
cornerback position because they can't play the receiver position because it's too hard.
That is how it happens almost every
time. They're trying to catch every ball in their hands.
Diggs, one of the good corners right now, playing for the Dallas Cowboys in the National Football League. Guess what he started at? Receiver.
Right.
So,
but
this
is
Jimmy Johnson, a guy you know and love very well. What did he teach me from the beginning, 1989 on? He said, I need a quarterback and I need cornerbacks.
Yes.
Okay? I need cornerbacks because he knew that's how you stop you and you, right? If you get a did Deion not change?
Corners are nice, bro.
Just a few minutes here, I know. But
Yeah, I'm kind of fucking with it. I'm gonna see what other segments they got up today.
1994 to 1995.
I'm not gonna lie.
He switches
This shit pretty
uniforms from
solid.
San Francisco to your
All right,
Italian
Undisputed.
Dallas
New
Cowboys.
Undisputed. Hit him.
Changed life because he could change the way you played defense. He could take a whole side.
Well, they have to do longer segments now because I feel like normally with Shannon, this would be like a 12-minute segment.
The NFC Championship game is the greatest single one-on-one
I got
matchup
Stafford
I have
and
ever
Young
seen
Rams,
between
Baker.
those
I want to see the
two.
Baker show.
Okay, now let's get back to Justin Jefferson.
Wait.
Yeah,
So they won that game, so you got to put the numbers out.
All right.
2 for 192 and 3 touchdowns.
He had 192.
Mike Ball.
They fell behind 21-0, and all of a sudden, number 8, Troy Aikman, had no choice but to throw it to him every time. It was Deion on him the whole rest of the game. All right, back to Justin Jefferson. Here's the irony of what you told me to start this all off. You said that Jerry Sullivan told you that this kid has got a lot of you in him. I have said on this show, sitting in this chair, I don't see enough Michael Irvin and Justin Jefferson. I might be a prisoner of 3 Cowboy games because if you look at what he's done against the Cowboys, he lost all 3
I understand what he's saying. Sometimes Justin Jefferson doesn't go off, but
he was pedestrian in the 3 games against
he's
Dallas.
had some
He
pedestrians
averaged 3
of
catches
that.
for 47
Sometimes.
yards. And the game's over, and I'm thinking,
Giants
is
playoff
he
game,
playing?
pedestrian.
I don't know. I don't see fire in his belly. This guy had fire like you have never seen. He was the leader of the football team, which is hard to do when you have a quarterback and you have so much star power at other positions. But the locker room followed him. Okay, it did.
Skip. And, you know, it's so funny because I saw that early in him. You guys remember. And they had something on social media. Remember, Kirk Cousins missed him in the end zone.
Yeah.
And he went.
Yeah.
And then I ran into him, and I was talking to him and his brother because he's always with his brother. And I say, hey, man, you know, they're going to be watching you. And your quarterback's going to see that.
Yeah.
You know, now, I don't mind you going at anybody else. But don't make your quarterback feel funny about throwing you the money. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever make him feel funny. So I say, you know, do something, because you can't.
Yeah.
Hey, I would come over that sideline, and even if Troy threw the ball in the ground, I'm yelling at us, what's going on out here? And, you know, it's anybody but Troy. You want him to keep throwing. And so you don't see, I try to make sure he doesn't do that on a football field where Kirk Cousins going to take it a wrong way and say, well, if I can't make a perfect pass, I ain't going to throw it at all. Because you want him to throw everything. Anything in the area code, he answers.
So bigger picture, to me, Devontae Adams is still a bad man. I mean, I'm just taking him over Justin Jefferson. And listen, Jamar Chase is a bad man.
I'm taking him over too.
Okay, thank you. So I wouldn't put any receiver at 2.
Somebody's going to be mad, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's Devontae Adams, whether it's Justin Jefferson, whether it's DK, somebody gonna get mad when you take somebody else over somebody else. That's just the reality of it. But in all honesty, to me, when I look at those other guys, again, I like guys that can run routes on the numbers as well as inside. I haven't necessarily seen Justin Jefferson get out on those numbers and work it the way I would like. That's all. You know,
everybody got a different preference.
Yeah, everybody got different.
I think he's a great receiver. I think the guys in Seattle both underrated.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Lockett.
I'm a Lockett guy. I'm a Lockett guy.
No question. I think Brandon Ayuk is going to be really good in San Francisco. But receivers, it's a lot of good receivers in the National Football League. A lot of people running that scheme. That Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, that condensed formation, back the corners off, so you can have free releases and free roam. That changes the way they run their offenses. That changes the way these quarterbacks operate. That's why everybody sounds crazy when Kyle Shanahan's like, hey, I would take Kirk Cousins and a Mississippi Mint. He'd take him today. With all this going on, if Kirk Cousins was available, he would take him because in this scheme, he is what they want. He is mobile enough. He makes the right decisions. He makes the right passes. But it's The receiver position is too dependent.
You should have made me right last year and won the MVP.
No.
Like I said.
By the way, we got to get Deion Sanders in here sometime to sit over there, maybe, and then you guys wouldn't be able to gang up on him about the value of cornerback because, listen, Deion would.
Come help me.
This dude went in on corners.
Yo, this is gas. Let's see if there's anything else, bro. Gas, bro. Talked about Deion Sanders. Barry Jones did not consult. I don't want to watch another. Fuck the Cowboys. I think they said Baker starter, or let me see, undisputed. See what they did today. Hey, Baker right there if we want to. Yeah, watch them all. Yes, and then there's Russell Wilson. Well, Sherman's not gonna be saying anything though. Alright, but I think I'm gonna watch the big one. Fuck it, just.
Many of you probably know I remain a believer in
No,
Baker.
Skip on the same shit. Y'all understand I'm a day one. I understand what he's talking about, bro. He's been saying this, bro. Jenny and him had crazy arguments, and now he goes to the Bucks. Hurts, yeah. I mean, the only other thing to watch would have been
he did back in his Cleveland days at
that
home
Broncos
with Baker
shit, so.
Mayfield in the stadium he lived in. Ugh. Others like me believe that Baker's an underrated leader and playmaker who can win games in the NFL as a starter.
So they going to
because
the
he
division
has.
skit?
Yet Baker
So he-
always seems to be in the wrong
Dang, so he be
place
doing
at
the
wrong
intro.
time. Now he's trying to replace Tom Brady in Tampa
He'd be
Bay
doing the
for
intro.
a team in decline.
Normally it was the girl, and now she goes.
Richard Sherman. Can Baker save his career as he replaces Brady in Tampa?
There's so many levels to this, but yes, he can. He's on a prove-it deal, but he has no pressure. There's no, again, just like the Rams, there's no expectation for this team. This division isn't the strongest division in football. The NFC South, Atlanta's got a young quarterback. They're rebuilding. Carolina has a young quarterback. They're rebuilding. The Saints have a good quarterback. They got a good system. They got a good chance. But you know what? He's playing with Michael Lynn Evans III.
Yeah.
9 straight 1,000-yard seasons. On his way to being a Hall of Famer. He needs his flowers. He deserves them. Most underrated receiver in football.
Well, you covered him in practice a whole bunch.
In games. And your hands are full. And Rod Christopher Godwin Jr.
Well, you
Those
know
are
these
2.
names.
Come on now. These are teammates. Got to know your teammates. And these are elite receivers in the National Football League. They will make his job a lot easier. When he's had good receivers, he's done well. He's played well.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. This is like blessed for him with receivers.
Yes, sir.
Right?
I've known him for a number of years. He's going to put him in position to be successful. He has a big arm. He has all the talent in the world to be successful within this offense. I think he's going to do great. And the better he does, he controls his own destiny. Because the better he does, the less chance Tampa has of replacing him, drafting his replacement. If he plays terrible and they got a high draft pick, they're going to draft your replacement. If you play well and they draft it in the 20s, they got less chance to draft your replacement.
Yeah, I think he will be able to revive his career. When you go back and you look at the success of the success plus the lack of success that he had in Cleveland. When he was successful in Cleveland, he was healthy. They went to the playoffs 3 years ago. Okay. Much like you said, Skip, polarizing. So sometimes being a player and been in that position before as a polarizing
how many picks he
player,
throws,
people see you different. They will dissect your skill set to the nth degree to try to turn it into a negative, even though it's a positive.
Get a good negative.
When you talk about Baker Mayfield, yes, did he have locker room problems? Did the locker room dislike him at times in Cleveland because of the OBJ situation? Yes,
correct.
they did.
Yes.
They did.
They picked sides.
They picked sides. But a lot of that was to his own fault. Okay? Like Michael talked about with the quarterback and the receiver, the dynamic. You got to be friends. No matter what the situation is.
But they were friends.
Well, they were.
They went on vacation together.
No, they were friends.
That's why they wanted to play together.
Exactly. But they started off as friends. They didn't end as friends.
So that stuff. As good as good.
As good as
when
good.
it start getting bad,
and so when you look at him, And you look at where he was at in 2020. He went 11-5. He had 26 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. They went on to the playoffs. They beat Pittsburgh.
First playoff win since 1994.
Then they go to Kansas City, and they got Kansas City on the ropes. On the ropes. Patrick
Rashard
Mahomes
Higgins has that one play. If he don't fumble that ball across the goal line, we got a whole different game.
It's a different conversation, right? Chad Henne gets the first down, game over. He had him right there. Next year, he gets hurt. And then all of a sudden,
in game number 2,
he gets hurt. So we focus in on aggressive insurance commercial.
Yes, we are.
We focus in on him saying he's hurt, but he's still playing. He's worried about his contract. All of those sort of things, and much like you just said, Richard, he doesn't have to worry about that now. There's no pressure. And as far as the Tom Brady thing goes, they were 8-9 and went to the playoffs. If he get to 8-9 again, if he go to 9-8,
before you go,
I mean, come on,
real
seriously.
Quick.
Go ahead.
Your book came out after your rookie year, right?
Yes, absolutely. And you killed me probably too.
I did.
Let me go Google
I
that and
actually
see.
like the book. Just give me the damn ball.
Yes.
It set a whole new tone for Keyshawn Johnson.
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
for the rest of your career. That
Absolutely.
became your catchphrase, so to speak,
And
right?
it's still following.
Okay, and it still follows. Good or bad? You look back on it, right or wrong?
Great. I think it was great because in the end, I got Bill Parcells that same year that the book came out. And everybody wanted Bill to be against me.
What happened before, I'm going to change it. And I thought they had a chance there. I thought it was going well. All of that. And the commercial starts playing in, and then you get in the game. And as you talked about, Keyshawn, you have that good year. And, man, it was great. And I was talking to Baker. I said, it's going great, man. And then things turn. I believe now, though, because of, you mentioned Mike Evans, not just, but when I mention Mike Evans, I'm talking about the style of receiver he is. Baker Mayfield been playing with Jarvis Landry, the Odell Beckhams, my boy Rashard Higgins, who I work out with all the time. They're smaller guys, man. You got to make perfect throws. Now you got an area coder. I call these dudes the area coder. You know, this is Mike Evans, 6'5", an area coder. You saw what Mike Evans did for Johnny Manziel. Everybody was talking about Johnny Manziel, Johnny football. Johnny was throwing that ball up. Mike Evans was bringing it down.
He was.
9 1,000-yard seasons. You talked about, but the quarterbacks that he had to go get him, a Josh McCown, the Mike Glennons, the Jameis Winston, the Ryan Fitzpatrick, and he still produced. That's what Baker Mayfield got. Now, put the ball in the air and let Mike Evans go and get it. An area code receiver that catches anything in the area code, you don't have to.
And you know, Skip, as an Oklahoma guy,
Mike Evans is nice in fantasy, bro.
He got hurt at the wrong time. You get hurt on a
might be a
contract
sleeper.
year. You try to play because you know that money, Mike. You know, I'm trying to get that money, and he didn't play well.
Right.
So now they got to move on from you. So now you become
Might take
expendable.
a risk
You're
on
mad
Mikey
because they
this
don't
year.
want to pay you. Now
If you
you
didn't
get
got me
shipped off to
convinced.
Carolina. Carolina is in a mess of an organization.
It was.
And now you don't get your fair shot. He has a fair shot now. And if he doesn't take advantage of it and screw it up, if he screws it up,
This is the last chance. No, this is the last chance.
Boy from Seattle. What can he do? And I like what he did when he got Metcalf. Man, I remember seeing Metcalf in the combine. And I thought, man, okay, it's a big fella. He can run. May have some issues transitioning. Most five routes come back, everybody. I run 17 yards back to 15. I saw him start saying to Metcalf, let's take this 22, 23 yards. You know what? So now when you we can't do it because it doesn't time up right. Because we ain't fast enough. We ain't fast enough. That quarterback on his butt. But with DK, he's fast enough.
He's fucking
and what
fast
you gotta
enough.
understand, when you go in 20, 21 yards, I don't need a transition great and come back now because that cornerback with that kind of speed, he's turning and running. Now you're going to have more time to transition. I said, that's brilliance when he put that together for Metcalf and made him an all-pro. Let me see what he going to have for Mike Evans.
That's a long throw?
That's a long throw. That's a
get paid the
long
big
throw.
bucks.
But you got that boy, that big fella that's running the way he runs.
I know, but that's a long. That's a long.
But he ran down Buda Baker.
All right, so Keyshawn,
good
you
ball.
mentioned I am an Oklahoma fan. I did become a Baker fan when he was at Oklahoma. Bob, I'll be the first to admit. What has always scared me a little about Baker is he is a classic overachiever. And when you're talking about, I like to put that word in that sentence of overachiever, He walked on twice. He walked on at Texas Tech, and he won the job. And then he lost the job under Cliff Kingsbury there. And he walked on because his father went to the University of Oklahoma. He just walked in the door and said, "Can I play?" Yeah, sure. You were starter at Texas Tech. And here he goes, and he wins a Heisman Trophy. He gets drafted 1 overall, and I beat the desk here. Take him 1st overall. I thought he'd be better than Sam Darnold. I know he's a USC guy, but Sam's a good backup quarterback. Another reason why Trey Lance became available, because they said, we got a classic backup. He's like a Cooper Rush. He can play, but he can't be a starter. So Baker gets drafted 1. I'm all for it. And he takes a team that was 0-16, and he wins 7 games his first year. 7 games? It's hard, man, to turn that thing around, and he was the driving force in the locker room. And
I remember that. And then he was ass, and then when Odell got injured, he was nice.
Look what he did. He went through, he's had 8 head coaches. He still seems like he's a baby. He's 27 years old. He's 8 head coaches and 7 coordinators. That's hard, man. It's just, you just keep starting over and starting over. But I first guessed it. He was really good in those Progressive commercials. They were funny, they were fun, they were good. I give him that. But I kept beating the desk over here saying, it's just too soon. You can't do it when you're a rookie in this league. They will eat you alive because they're relentless. Every game I turned on, every other commercial would be Baker's house. You know, after a while, they must have done 30 different commercials, right? And they kept feeding off each other into the next year and the next year because Progressive is based in Cleveland, and he was the it kid in Cleveland.
But you know how you counter that, those kids? You counter that by playing. And playing well.
Well, sure.
I'm somebody that went through it in New York City as a rookie.
Okay.
Commercial, you know, Mike, my own shoes, commercials, the whole deal. But in the end, I got an opportunity to play well. So you couldn't say nothing.
Okay.
You had to bow down and just accept it. And that's what Baker has to do. He has to play well.
Hey, Shannon joining first take next week. Right now, Undisputed on top. Day 2. I will be back tomorrow. Appreciate y'all.